Now I can minimize this, right?
Right.
And still it will continue.
Sure.
Okay.
You are sharing the deck, right? So.
Yeah, I'm sharing it. Online meeting ID. Yeah, it is supposed to be sharing.
Is it set up to record?
Yeah, I've just started recording. Its sharing is also going on. Can you see on this symbol? Yeah. So it's sharing and recording also.
Where's that recording? Do you think it's on?
Yeah, it is on. It said it has started recording.
Oh, okay. Because last time.
Yeah, it can. Sometime I can make a mistake. Hello Sunita, hello Murali. Shashi Ban, welcome. All of you are on time, not late. Hi. We'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Vinod, I don't think you have met all these, Murali, Sunita, I don't remember your name. Radhika, yeah, okay. Reverend Manny, should we get started here, please?
Welcome. Thank you for being here. Isn't this awesome? The weather's great outside, isn't it? A little too chilly? Now, welcome. I thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And if you would please bow your heads, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Of course, breathe out. Take another deep breath. Breathe. Make sure you breathe. Take another deep breath. And out. Feel your heart. Feel your heart. Feel that love in your heart. Feel God's love in your heart. Feel Creator's love in your heart. Feel the universe's love in your heart. Feel your family's love in your heart. Feel your community's love in your heart. Feel the world's love in your heart. And we ask that you listen, that you understand, that you take this wisdom in, that you take this information in, and use it for your use. Use it with love. Use it with kindness. Use it with love. Use it with joy. Use it with happiness. Use it with bliss. And we know you are blessed. We know that you have a lot of love in your heart. We know that you will use this information. We know that you are open to this information. And we know that you will bless our community with this information. And we send this prayer and thank God, thank Creator, and thank the universe. And we send this prayer out into the universe. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. And again, thank you. Mr. Arun, we love you, we thank you, and we bless you. You are awesome, let me tell you. Big round of applause for this gentleman.
Thank you, Reverend Manning. That was very, very meditative invocation.
He's going to talk about self-inquiry. I am my blissful self.
Right. Very, very meditative invocation. And we'll continue from this point onwards in our Nididhyasan, that is, meditation toward the end of this session. Okay, welcome everyone and Happy New Year. Now we'll get started and just want to let you know that this is the third part of our self-inquiry. And by the way, this will never end. Self-inquiry never ends. But my plan was we'll go about 5 or 6 parts and then we'll stop this one. There are many, many methods of self-inquiries, and I'll be covering one more method today. And as you can see, this is a joint effort. We work together, Rosemary and myself, and you will have some dazzling slides, which will dazzle you. Hopefully, they'll dazzle you. Because she is very, very creative. So, okay. To give you an idea about the agenda today, we will start with some words from a great saint from India. I know more about saints from India. I know a little bit about saints from Europe also, like Saint Francis of Assisi, Bishop Berkeley of England, and all that, but not as much in detail. By the way, this saint was very well known to some Britishers. One of them was an author by the name of Somerset Maugham. And he wrote a book by the name of Razor's Edge, The Razor's Edge. Very famous book. And if you have not read, you should really read that book. He talked about this saint. He met him in India. And he talked about a character by the name of Larry Darrell, who was trying to find himself. So he was suggested by one person that you go to India, you stay there, and stay with this particular saint. And that saint tells him this thing, that this path of spirituality is like walking on the razor's edge, on the sharp edge of the razor. So you have to really make your feet very, very tough. Keep on hammering them, which you call as practice. You have to keep on practicing and practicing. And after that, your feet, or the bottom of your feet, will become like a rock. Then you can walk on that razor's edge. It's a beautiful book, worth reading. By the way, they have made more than one movie on that one. So we'll start with these words, and then I'll have a brief recap. Actually, it's not really brief. It's a proper recap of previous session. I tried to make it brief, but I just kept on getting more ideas. And then we'll go to what we call as the final leap. We have already gone through the first leap, which is gaining emotional maturity. That you're preparing the mind, purifying the mind. We have already gone through that one, which is the first leap. I'll mention about it in my brief recap. Then we'll go to the final leap, which is self-inquiry to uncover. You can call it discover if you like it. I like to use the word uncover. The true self. Because now we are covered, as you know, all of you know about it, we are covered with 2 costumes which stick to us. One costume is known as mind, another is known as physical body. And they are very sticky, by the way. Like you have seen some bottles, that there's a label which is very sticky. You cannot remove it. It's like that, it sticks to us. And we have to understand that these are costumes. They are changeable costumes. that we normally try to change what you call as the outer costume, which you call as physical body, which we normally call it as death. There is no death, by the way. You are never born and you never die. And somebody comes and says, yes, I was born. You ask that question, who told you so? Because that person doesn't know one is born. And that person will say that my mom told me. That's not a real proof, by the way. That's known as hearsay, not hearsay, it's hearsay. And no one will really know when you will die. And I'll tell you the reason, because you do not die. You are just changing a costume, the outermost costume. Your goal is to get rid of both these costumes and be who you are. These are the also words coming from the same great saint. And finally, we will have a guided meditation like we do all the time. We call it nididhyasanam, that meditation where you see the knowledge in your own self. And it gets completed when you not only see the knowledge in your own self, but you live that knowledge. The ultimate goal is to live that knowledge. That is where you say you be your own blissful self. Okay, let's start with some words from a great saint. The name of this great saint was Ramana Maharishi. He has passed away in 50s last year. In last century, you can say, great enlightened saint, and he said this thing, any amount of religious practices you may do yoga, you may do meditation, it will not liberate you. It will not make you psychologically free. I'll talk about that freedom also. They only help to prepare the mind. That your mind will become more calm, more tranquil, you can say more equanimous, it will become, and it will really help you to really start gaining self-knowledge. But this can only help you to prepare your mind. You can call it, you will gain emotional maturity, which we call as the first level or the first leap. And this leap is a very extended period it requires, to really gain that emotional maturity. Then he goes on to say self-realization, which you can call it self-knowledge if you like, happens only through self-inquiry. That you have to really inquire. And being a human being, that you have got that kind of intellect, which really wants to inquire. Who am I? Who I really am? You want to really find out. Just don't ask superficial questions. You have to go deeper into it. And it is the greatest service you can render to the world. Once you become enlightened, that you realize who you truly are, your thoughts will spread all over the world. Those are the thoughts of love. Anybody who comes near you will feel that you are a saint. And that sainthood, those thoughts will start transforming all people around you. In fact, those who are not even near you, you will be able to really expand this to a large distance. Like Ramana Maharishi, for 16 years he was sitting in a cave. And people started knowing about it. How? Because they were getting vibration in the town which was well below that cave. This cave was on the top of a mountain. And then they started searching, from where are we getting these vibrations? And they started going toward the mountain and found this saint sitting and meditating. The thoughts of love were spreading. And if you are reading Bible, you will also know this thing that Jesus was embodiment of love. That the Saint Paul also wrote about it, first epistle of Saint Paul to Corinthians, in the book of Corinthians. So this is what is the condition. If you have reached self-realization, you are doing greatest service to this world, to humanity, and to all animals also, everywhere, because you are spreading love. You can't think of anything else but love. And this love is, by the way, universal love. It's a scalar love. It goes in all the directions. Doesn't care whether there is a sinner or a saint. It's like a flower, fragrance which goes in all the directions. Even a person who comes and destroys the flower, the fragrance will still go to that individual. And this is the kind of love we want to develop. That's why we are here today. Okay, brief recap of our previous session. Now, we had completed 2 sessions before, part 1 and part 2, which we called it. We didn't start with parts, but then it became part 1 and part 2. And to find out who I really am. We have been hearing about it, from Socrates also. He says, if you want eternal, uninterrupted happiness, no interruptions in between, You are all the time cheerful, whether you are having pleasure or you are having pain. Then you have to know yourself. And that is what you really know. I am neither the body nor the mind. I am just witnessing body and mind, and the world also. And the problem is that we form an image, which is created by our mind. You can call it deluded mind, not pure mind. It is impure mind which creates an image. And this particular image, you can see one image is created, and the image is, I see myself as an inadequate being. Always this is the image, I lack something. So a person really looks at it, sees my waist is very wide. It may not be 36 inches, oh, it has become very wide. I used to be 29 inches. A person thinks that way, Looks into the mirror, thinks that I'm bloated. So a person feels that way, Because you have created an image, created by your mind, projected by your mind. And this is the picture you are seeing. This individual is quite normal looking individual to us, but this is what that individual doesn't think so. Individual is comparing what that individual was 15 years back. And he says, no, I'm very bloated person. I am feeling inadequate. I feel limited. I am lacking so many things. My hearing is not very good. A person says, my hair color is not very good. In fact, I don't even have hair. So it really, people can find many reasons to feel inadequate. By the way, you will create a reason to feel that I'm inadequate. That is what the image. And just to remind you that image is not real. Why do I want to find out who I really am? Image is not real. No, why do I want to find out? I don't need to find out. The reason is because if you really find out, you will be amazed. You will go in a state of wonder. And you will discover that I am truly free. Psychologically, I am free. Free from all insecurities, all inadequacies, all fears, all worries, all anxieties. Anxiety is a worry about the future. You can have near-term worry and you can have a long-term worry. When you are anxious, you are all the time, keep on thinking about it for a long term. What will happen after 5 years? What will happen after 10 years? What will happen to my body? Who will take care of me when I'm sick? All those kind of fears start coming. And once you really know who you really are, all those fears vanish. And how do I know about it? I only know from the saints who have told. By the way, saints are not sitting in the same place. One is in England, another is in Italy, another is in India, and they have not communicated with each other. But they have said exactly the same thing. All saints at that level of spirituality will have the exactly same answer. That they have no fear, they have no anxiety, they have no insecurity, they have no inadequacy. They don't even need a security system in their house. We are not yet there, by the way. We still have a security system in the house. Because we say, oh, I'm gone away for 6 months in a year, I should have some security system in the house. Otherwise, even if somebody breaks in, takes something which is good, you get rid of some stuff. Clutter. Only thing is that after that you have to put these things in place, because a person, robber who comes to the house, he just not only takes away things, he creates some lot of clutter in the house also, because he is going to throw things out here and there, I see that in movies, I'm saying, In the movie you will see that person will open one drawer, some other chest and all that, and then keep on throwing things all over the place. Then cleaning that mess is not very easy, even if you have a cleaning lady also. Previously also I thought I was free. Interesting thing is that I thought I don't need this freedom because I was free before also. Free to do what? That I am really free to become a slave. Slave of my own mind. A person can have many reasons for slavery, It could be smoking, it could be drinking, it could be drugs, it could be many things. You are free to do it. You say, I'm free. I can take drugs, I can take LSD, I can take whatever I want, Then a person gets addicted. And once you get addiction, you have become slave now. And you can see this guy who is sitting here. I'm seeing this picture here. This guy has become an addict. Now he doesn't want to be slave, but he has no choice. You are just slave. Who's slave? Your own mind. Mind is taken control of you. You are under the control of mind. You should really command the mind. And you should really gain that freedom where you are the master. You tell the mind. And on the right side, which I am seeing here, this guy has become a master. That man decides when he wants to do what he wants to do. And previously also, I was free to remain unhappy. I had a freedom to be unhappy. And I become unhappy for every small thing, My child is not doing very well in the school, or doing well, but not as well as the number one student. It's number two. Number two is a very, very bad feeling, My child is number two. Salutatorian. Nobody cares about salutatorian, He is very bad about it, And grieves that person. Small things happening. Daily it happens. Somebody didn't talk properly to me. I felt insulted and all that. Again, you are free to become unhappy. I am free to be unhappy. My flight is delayed due to some weather problem. I am again unhappy. All the time I am going from unhappiness to unhappiness to unhappiness. I remain there. So this is another freedom, that you have freedom to be unhappy. Now I want you free to remain in a state of uninterrupted happiness. This is the transformation which has to happen. And how does it happen? As I said, it's a feeling of wonder, amazement that you will find when you get enlightened, when you know who you really are. All the freedom will completely change. It will be transformed. I think somebody is speaking in the background. He is not on mute. Please put yourself on mute. Somebody is logged on. Okay, we'll continue with this one. So what do I need to do to discover my true self, or be my true self, or free self you can call it. You can also call it loving self. Freedom is love, by the way. That is a very perfect equation, mathematical equation, by the way. When you are free, you love everyone. First and foremost, have an inquiring and open mind. That you have been given intellect for making inquiry. And you also have to have open mind. Because if you don't have open mind, you think that I already know. That is the first stumbling block. If you think I already know, then you will not make any progress at all. So just to start with, have an open mind. And after that, next, then you start the self-inquiry and find out why my mind is reacting the way it does. It reacts to some situations which are meaningless situations. You can't even figure out why do I react, So very small thing. I just gave you an example of that there is a flight delay by 15 minutes. And a person is really reacting and starts imagining. Anxiety starts there. I'll miss my connecting flight, If you miss it, so what? What will happen? Nothing will happen, by the way. But a person is worried about it. And what happens is then befriend your mind. Now you have to really work on the mind. It could be meditation. It could be some other method. You are reading or practicing and all that. There are many, many different methods. You are playing some nice music also. That will help. So make your mind non-reacting, which you call as the first leap. And this first leap takes a long time. That you have to keep on practicing and practicing and practicing. Maybe many lives it may take also. And then you reach a stage where your mind does not react. Things go wrong, so what? As I was giving example, if a person says, yes, a person is in one place, let's say is in Arizona and has a house in Cleveland, gets a call that his house is on fire. And he answers, what? Then he says, so what? That is the kind of attitude one has to develop. That means you are having a non-reacting mind. It doesn't mean you don't take action. You call those people, then call insurance company also, because you have to recover the money if you have insurance for the house. Otherwise, you can say, okay, good riddance. Okay, all right. This is the first leap. First leap is the difficult leap. After that, it becomes much easier. And then, and finally, practice what you call as deep self-inquiry, deeper self-inquiry to discover that you are limitless, you are boundless. There is no bondage, You control your mind. You have a command over your mind. You have command over your sensory organs. There is no worry at all. You are just watching this whole world as a passing show. You are watching a movie. In a movie, you enjoy the tragedy as well as comedy. Just enjoy. You will have some comedy and some tragedy in this world also. Just enjoy it. And that is known as the final leap. And we are all in the first leap, by the way. Once you have crossed the first leap, then you don't have to do anything. You can just really then start realizing who you are, and you will take the final leap. It's a quick job. Now and here, you will be liberated. You will be enlightened. And that's what we are trying to reach. And all of you who are sitting here are already way ahead in the first leap. You are coming to that point, which you really call as some critical threshold. Like we say, critical mass. After that, the nuclear reaction, starts. It explodes, atom bomb, like that, So let's consider now, let's look at the first leap, which I had covered before. Acceptance is the key to first leap. When you start anything, first accept it. That it has happened. Don't deny it, Just you accept it, it has happened. The house is on fire, just accept it, it is on fire. Don't say, no, it's not on fire. Don't say that. And if somebody has done something wrong, a child has done something wrong, accept it. Yeah, it has happened now. So what I need to do, accepting every happening as the way things are. In Buddhism, they call it as suchness. There is a lot of articles written on this one, that one of the teaching of Lord Buddha, which says tata tha, that is the word used. It's a word coming from a dialect of Sanskrit language. And then taking action with a cool mind. If you don't accept it, your mind is not cool. Not cool means it is agitated. With agitated mind, if you take action, it is likely to be 99% chance it will be a wrong action. So you cool down first, calm down. But don't tell others to calm down, by the way. They'll get more agitated. Because normally I find a person will say, oh, calm down, calm down, calm down. Never say that one. Accepting also should be willingly, not grudgingly. Some people will accept it because people say you have got to accept it. Don't really just willingly accept it because it has happened. There is no doubt about it. Things have happened. Why not accept it? And when you really accept it willingly, lovingly, not grudgingly, then it's known as emotional maturity. And that is the part of the long journey. And finally, reaching the goal just happens. It's not that difficult. Okay, we'll continue with this brief recap. If I'm calling it brief, it's not that brief. When we stopped last time, we were planning to investigate 3 self-inquiry techniques. This is for the final leap now, by the way. Yeah, please come inside. Farah. There are 3 techniques we were talking about investigating. Actually, there are more than 3 techniques, but I thought we'll pick up 3 techniques to investigate. The first technique is known as the process of knowing. Investigate. That I know this thing, I know that thing. What does it mean? That is, there is a knower and there is a known. Or you can call it, there is a witness and there is some object. There is subject, there is an object. Let's investigate. Because the self-inquiry really looks at investigating your day-to-day experiences. We are not really talking about some supernatural, mystic type of experience. People get some flash of light, explosion happens in the mind. We are not talking about those experiences. Those can be created by some neurologist can also create it. Yes, some drugs can create it. LSD can create all that. We are talking about day-to-day experiences that I want to really know that how this knowing is happening. There is a knower, there is a know. I want to investigate that. Every day I see this thing. And I have given the name in Sanskrit known as Drig Drishya Viveka. Drig word means a witness, Drishya means what is witnessed, and Viveka means understanding the relation between the two. Then there is another thing which we should really investigate. What is the waking state? And there is a dream state and there are deep sleep states. These are three states. In all those states you are present there, by the way. Is there a difference? Is there a difference between dream and the waking state? Is there a difference? Now, simple difference, you can say this thing, in the dream only the brain is being used. And in the waking state, you are using the brain and you are using 5 other instruments, which were given to you by nature itself. You are using your eyes, nose, skin you are using, your tongue you are using your ears, all those you are using, along with your brain. So you can say one is a high fidelity dream. It may be a dream. How do you know this is not a dream? Because if you talk to those saints, they say it's a dream only, which they call as waking dream. And then you have got a normal dream, which is not a high fidelity dream. You can say it is a blurry type of thing. But in the dream, by the way, you think it's real. That blurry stuff is also real. It's just that you have woken up. That's why you say it was a dream. And then there is a deep sleep. What is a deep sleep? Deep sleep means at that time you have no thoughts. You are not even using the brain also. And which was given to you by, some higher power. And we are not even using that brain also. So what are you experiencing at that time? You have to investigate. What am I experiencing? I am experiencing experiencelessness. You are still experiencing it, by the way. So you have to really examine it. We have covered this some other time, 2 or 3 months from now. And then you have another way of really looking at this thing, investigating your own self, which they really call as going through the various layers which we are covering. I talked about 2 costumes, but actually you can really divide these costumes into 5 costumes instead of 2. Getting into a little bit more details now, The first layer I say is the physical body. Then I go to another layer which I call it physiology, where things are really moving inside the body. You have got nervous system, you have got circulatory system, all those kind of things. You have got another layer. Then you go to another layer in the mind. You say there is a mind which is an emotional mind. I'll go through that layer. Then you have another layer which is intellectual mind. Then you really reach a stage where your ego has subsided. You have reached a stage which corresponds to like deep sleep, or where you start feeling that joy. So you are going through various stages. So we will really walk through that one later on, maybe toward the end of this year sometime. And we'll talk about those 5 layers, going through these 5 layers and reaching your own self ultimately, by the way. And after this, when we really go through this process, then there is another process which we call as the process of negation. Now we start examining all the things which we have witnessed. We have to ask this question, investigate it. If I'm looking at a chair, is that chair real? There are certain simple things you can say that if there is a wooden chair, when I investigate that, I find it's not really a chair, it's only wood. I call it a chair. Why do I call it a chair? Because somebody has told me so. If I was not trained to call that wood as chair, I would really say that, yes, I see some wood which has a particular shape. And you can call that shape as cherry wood, if you like. You can say cherry wood, table wood, or whatever word you want to use. Similarly, when you are looking at some ornaments, you are looking at a ring, you are looking at some necklace, you are looking at bangle and all that, and if you are not really told that there is a word bangle, there is a word necklace, there is a word ring, you would have said there is a ringly gold. If somebody has really say, I'm looking at gold, okay, this gold has a particular shape. You will never be able to figure out it is anything other than gold. So here again, we have to really figure out whether what we are looking at is real or unreal. When I say unreal, I mean unreal, by the way. When you look at a mountain in a movie, on the screen, you say that is unreal. You say, I'm just looking at the light. Or you say, I'm looking at the screen. There is no mountain, there is no river, there is no fire. All the fires you see in the movies a lot, But there is no fire, otherwise the screen will burn. And if you say screen has not burnt, obviously there is no fire. I don't see screen as wet, means there is no river also, So similarly here also you have to really examine. This is a long topic. We'll go to negation. And we'll really truly investigate whatever we are seeing, which includes the body also, by the way. Is it real or it's not real? Okay, today we'll investigate the process of knowing, which we had started last time, and I think we have enough time. We'll be able to finish this one and go to meditation after that. Now this is the final leap now we are coming to. We have already gone through the first leap, which you say maturity of mind, our calmness of mind, our purity of mind, all those have been done, that the mind is calm, now mind is prepared to really go deep into this inquiry. The process of knowing basically, in that one first we have to realize that intrinsically humans have a special quality which is different from animals. Here you have the knowing comes first, That is the essence. Our essence is that we want to know. We want to know everything. If I'm driving, there is an accident, there is what you call a rubbernecking. I want to know what's happening there. Why do you want to know? You can't answer it, by the way. The answer is because that is your nature. The essence of human being is that if there's an accident and there's a dog going, dog will not stop there. Dog will not have any rubbernecking, by the way. It is only to humans that we will really start, what's happening there? And road traffic will come to a standstill. Everybody is trying to say that accident because you want to know. Everything you want to know. So this is the nature or the essence of human being. That you want to know, you want to inquire. First comes knowing, and after that comes doing. All humans are like that, That you start with knowing, then you go to doing. That first have a thought, then you take action. Now when it comes to animals, it's just the reverse, that process. In fact, knowing doesn't even happen there. Animals just only do. They are already pre-programmed, they have instinct, they do that. They are not going to think. And no animal will plan that I'm sitting here, I'll go out, and after that I'll come back after 10 minutes and all that. Or I'm not enjoying this lecture, so I'll escape from that door and all that kind of thing. No animal can really think about it. Animal just does because animal is programmed. And after that, animal also doesn't want to know it. A dog barks at a postman. Normally that's the common, and will never inquire that, why did I bark? It cannot inquire, basically. So animals just do without knowing. Humans first want to know, and they do. Only many humans are there, they just know, but they never want to do. Oh, that's very strange, okay. I don't know what I want to do here. What I want to do. I can do something, not otherwise. Sorry. Something went wrong, but that's all right. Let's go wrong. Okay, let's see.